Hey, welcome everybody. We can get started right away. We're doing our 2016 Mets replay, and it's Washington at Citi Field. It's going to be Max Scherzer. Scherzer was 20-7, and with a 2.96 ERA, so he's going to give the Mets a hard time for sure against Logan Verrett. I guess the Mets are low on pitching at this point in the season. He was 3-8 with a 5.20 ERA. So the hitters for Washington should have a good day. That's what we're looking at here in terms of on paper. Let's see what the game turns out to be. And that's about it. This is game number 87 of our 2016 replay. We started last year, and we stopped on June 16th because we went on vacation for about 2 months. And there was just no way to carry the game and so on and continue it. But this year I will be continuing it when I go on vacation. I'm going to go for 10 days this year to see the Mets at Citi Field. So that'll be fun. So we're going to get started right now. It's going to be Ben Revere. He batted .217, played about half the season, 350 at bats, and had 2 home runs. So here's the pitch from Logan Verrett. And that's a 2-9, and that's a fly ball center field. Now, this is what I love about Stratomatic, and we're playing Stratomatic Basic. What I love about Stratomatic is that a lot of the calls are right off of the card. Love that about it. Let's try to keep them both in the line of sight here. Oh, okay. And that's a 6-7. A 6-7 is going to be a split die that's hammered into right center field, and that's going to go for a double. So Worth is on second with a double. Second batter gets on right away off of Verrett's card. Here's a pitch to Daniel Murphy. Daniel Murphy had an outstanding year in 2016, 347 with a 216 batting average. That's going to be off of Murph's card, and that is going to be lined and caught by the second baseman. Today, that's going to be Walker for the Mets. In 2016, he was the Mets second baseman pretty much for the majority of the season. He did go out for a little while with an injury. It's going to be Bryce Harper now with a runner on second base and 2 outs. Here's the pitch from Verrett. And it's off Verrett's card. It's a 5-11. That's a ground ball pitcher X. And Verrett is, or Verrett, I'm not sure how they pronounce it. Probably Verrett. It's in English, and Verrett would be, I guess, in French. So Verrett, it's 5-11, so that's going to be, he's a 2. A 2, and we didn't roll yet. Decided to die. That's going to be a 9. 2-9 is going to be a ball that Verrett handles over to first for the 3rd out. So no runs on 1 hit. And we go to the bottom of the 1st. No score. Mets are coming to bat. So they got Harper on a comebacker. Let's see what happens here with Jose Reyes. Is going to be facing Max Scherzer. Reyes is back on the Mets in 2016 after a couple years in Toronto and Colorado. Had some domestic issues and was suspended for about a month. And the Mets organization had to wait through that month to get Reyes back. This is going to be a 5-8, and that's a strikeout. So Reyes strikes out. Really not too much space to roll, and that's going to be a 2-3, and that's a fly ball lifted to right field. The right fielder, Harper, number 34, is there. 2 outs, so Granderson's out. And now it's Neil Walker. And that's a 4-6, and that's going to be a split die. 12, 4-6 is going to be a fly ball center field. Ben Revere squeezes it for the 3rd out. 3 up, 3 down for the Mets. And we go to the 2nd inning now. Top of the 2nd. It's going to be Wilson Ramos I'll bring this down a little bit, have a little bit more space for rolling. You can still see what's going on. We'll bring this one over a bit. Bring this one over. It's going to be Logan Verrett pitching to Wilson Ramos. Ramos batted .307 with 22 home runs. So he's definitely a force to contend with. It's a 5'10". 5'10" is a ground ball shortstop X. Our shortstop is a 2, and that's a 3. And that's an out. Nice play by Cabrera. One away. Next is Clint Robinson. Clint Robinson. I was going to say Cliff Robinson. But no, it's Clint Robinson. Here's the pitch to Clint Robinson. It's a 3-6, and that's ball 4. So Robinson is on with a walk. Next is Rendon. Anthony Rendon. He batted .270 with 20 home runs. That's a 5-8. So Verrett's card. And 8 is a ground ball second base X. Our second baseman's a 3, and that's a 7. And that's going to be a 4-6-3 double play, and the Mets are out of the inning. We go to the bottom of the second now, no score. So Rendon hits into a double play. And it's going to be James Loney leading it off for the Mets. Here's the pitch from Scherzer. It's a 1-6. A 1-6 is a hard hit ground ball right to shortstop Espinoza. Feels it. One away. Next is Cabrera. And that's going to be a 6-10. That's a catcher's card. Our catcher is Ramos. He's a 2. And that's going to be a foul out. So 2 away now. And next is going to be Nimmo, Brandon Nimmo. Brandon Nimmo is from Wyoming. Interesting story on Nimmo in Wyoming. His high school didn't have a baseball team, so he had to play on select teams and travel quite a bit to be able to play baseball. 3-5, and it's going to be a split die, and that's going to be line base hit for Brandon Nimmo. First hit off of Scherzer. Off a split number. Here's Travis d'Arnaud. That's going to be a 6-9, and that's a swing and a miss. Strike 3 for the third out. The Mets lead 1 here in the bottom of the second. Still no score. We go to top of the third. Top of the third is going to be Danny Espinosa, Scherzer, and then the top of the order for Washington. Logan Verrett pitching for the Mets. On this day, we're using the actual lineups. And it's going to be Danny Espinosa. Here's the pitch to Danny. It's going to be a 6-6, and that's ball 4. So Verrett walks Espinosa. Scherzer's going to be scoring a bunt, and that's a successful bunt over to second. Is Espinosa 1 away now, and we got the top of the order coming up. Top of the order for Washington is going to be Revere, and that's a 4-7, and that's ball 4. So first and second now. Excuse me. And Jason Worth is up. So 112. That's lined to the shortstop, who steps on the bag for a double play. So it's 6-6, and the Mets get out of that jam on that line that goes right to that liner that goes right to the shortstop Cabrera, and he caught the runner at second, Espinosa, off guard, and for the double play. So we're going to the bottom of the third now. It's going to be De Aza. Alejandro De Aza batted .205. It looks like Cespedes is out for a few games, so De Aza's in there playing center field. So that's a 3-6, and that's a strikeout. That's the third strikeout for Max Scherzer. See the pitcher's card now, pitcher card number 1, and Verrett in the box. Say 3-8, and that's a strikeout. 4th strikeout and the 2nd out of the inning for Max Scherzer. Here's a pitch to Reyes. Say 4-7. A 4-7 is a split die. And that's an 18, a split die line drive base hit off of Scherzer's card. So Reyes is on base. And Reyes is a threat to steal. And there he goes. I'm sorry, it's the wrong. And there he goes. Oh, he may just make it. Let's see what a B is. A B is a 1-13, so he just makes it, steals second. So Reyes is on his second base now. And Granderson the batter. Why did I just do that? Okay. And that's a 6-9 off of Scherzer's card, and that's a swing and a miss. Goes down on strikes for the 5th strikeout for Scherzer in the 3rd out of the inning. So the Nats go to the top of the 4th now. There's no score in this game. In the top of the 4th, you're going to see Murphy, Harper, and Ramos. Here's the pitch from Verrett to Wilson Ramos. And it's a 4-5, and that's a ground ball right at the second baseman. Walker, one away. Next is Bryce Harper. And that's a fly ball lifted to center field. Diaz over, 2 away. And it's a 2-5, and that's a line drive base hit for Wilson Ramos. He's on with a single. 2 outs now. Ramos is on at first. Here's the pitch from Verrett and swung on by Clint Robinson. And that's... No, he held up. He held up, and that's ball 4. So 2 outs. Runners on first and second. It's going to be Anthony Rendon. Anthony Rendon batted .270 with 20 home runs in a full season. First and second, 2 outs, top of the 4th. No score here. Nats in New York. Here's the pitch. It's a 5-10. 5-10 is a ground ball shortstop. X. Our shortstop is a 2. That's a 13. And that's going to be an out. So Cabrera takes it himself for the force at second. And we go bottom of the 4th, still no score. So Verrett's matching Scherzer. Got a little mini pitching duel going on here. And in the bottom of the 4th, it's going to be Walker, Loney, and Cabrera for the Mets. We are in Citi Field in Flushing, New York. The 7 train, College Point stop for the game. So we still early. Come on down. 2016. We're in July. 2-3. So that's going to be a 2-3. That's a ground ball right back to Scherzer, who's going to field his position. 1 away. James Loney. 1-9, and that's a fly ball lifted to center. A few steps back is Revere. Squeezes it. And it's Cabrera now. Asdrubal Cabrera batted .280 with 23 home runs. Had an outstanding season. And it's going to be 4-11. It's a fly ball left field. And that's going to be an X. So Worth is a 3, I believe. He is. So a 3-3 is a ball that Worth gets to for the 3rd out. So 3 up, 3 down once again for the Mets. Scherzer is dealing. And for the Nats here in the top of the 5th against Logan Verrett, it's going to be Danny Espinosa, Max Scherzer, and then the top of the order. Say 3-7. A 3-7 is a swing and a miss. strike 3. That's Verrett's first strikeout. Next is Scherzer. That's a 4-8, and that's a split die. And that's going to be a double into the gap. Scherzer stops at second. And with Scherzer at second, it's going to be Ben Revere now. It's going to be action in the Mets bullpen. Here's the pitch to Revere. It's a 4-6. And that's going to be lined into the gap. And that's going to roll to the wall. Around to score is Scherzer. And Revere is in with an RBI double. And that's going to be all for Verrett. I'm going to get Hansel Robles. Hansel Robles is going to get called in to pitch for the Mets. Actually, you know who it's going to be? It's going to be, who's up? I believe Worth is he a righty? Yeah, he's a righty, but then I got a couple of lefties. I'm going to bring in a lefty, Bastardo. I'm going to bring in the lefty Bastardo, who actually pitched in this game. So we're going to bring in Bastardo to face Worth, and then he's going to stay in and face two lefties coming up, Murphy and Harper. So, you know what? We're going to bring in, let me change the name there. I wrote in Robles already. So let's see Bastardo. Okay, got him in. Here's the pitch to Worth. It's a 5-10. It's a ground ball shortstop, X, and that's a 4. That's going to be an out. And over to third goes Ben Revere. So 2 away now. And it's going to be Daniel Murphy. And you know what? They're going to walk Murphy. They're going to walk Murphy to get to Harper. Murphy batted .347. Harper batted .243. Now Harper has 24 home runs and Murphy hit 25 home runs. So I think it's the move to make here. So the Mets are going to walk Daniel Murphy and they're going to pitch to Bryce Harper. Lefty versus lefty. Antonio Bastardo versus Bryce Harper here. Let's see what happens. It's 1-0 Washington in the top of the 5th, but they could break it open here with this, with Max Scherzer pitching for Washington. A 3-0 lead, or even a 2-0 lead is a big lead. And it's going to be off of Harper's card, a 2-6, and that's ball 4. So the bases are now loaded. Bases are loaded, and it's going to be Wilson Ramos. Wilson Ramos is a righty, so we're going to bring in Robles now. Not that it matters, we're playing basic, just having fun with it. Making some pitching changes. So Robles is going to come in. He's going to pitch to Ramos. Let's see if we can make it out of the inning for the Mets here. They can get out of this jam. Bases loaded, 2 outs. It's only a 1-0 game right now, so if the Mets can get it out of this jam, they're still in the game. Here's the pitch from Hansel Robles. It's a 6-10. A 6-10 is a ground ball third base X. Our third baseman is Reyes, who's a 2, so that's a good sign. We want anything but a 1 or a 2. That's not a good sign. Third base, a 2, and that's a line drive that gets by Reyes. Runner's going to move up 1 base. RBI single for Ramos. Scoring is Revere. Bases are still loaded now. And it's Clint Robinson. Clint Robinson facing Hansel Robles. Hansel Robles has a good season in 2016 with 3.48 ERA and a 6-4 record. He totally collapses in 2017 and gets sent down to the minor leagues. So it's going to be Clint Robinson, who batted .235 with 5 home runs. And here's the pitch from Robles. It's a 1-9. A 1-9 is a swing and a miss. He goes down on strikes. And that ends the inning. But the Nats come up with 2 big runs here on an RBI double and an RBI single. So we go to the bottom of the 5th here at Citi Field. The score is 2-0 Nats. In the bottom of the 5th, it's going to be Nimmo, d'Arnaud, and De Aza. Max Scherzer on the mound for the Nats. Here's Nimmo. He's got a hit today, 3-9, and that's a strikeout. That's the 6th strikeout. Nimmo had one of only 2 hits allowed by Scherzer. It's going to be d'Arnaud who struck out. It's 1 out now in the inning. It's a 3-12, and that's lined and caught by the shortstop Espinoza for out number 2. And then De Aza, who's 0 for 1, he struck out. It's a 3-10, and that's a ground ball right at Murphy. Takes his time, throws out De Aza. Go to the top of the 6th. 2-0 Nats. Here's the pitch from Robles to Rendon. It's a 5-12, and that's a ground ball right back to Robles. He feels his position. 1 away. Espinoza now. Espinoza is 0 for 1. He walked and struck out. It's 4-5. It's a ground ball shortstop. And that's going to be an out ball that is handled by Cabrera. Very short-handed shortstop. Maybe not the range that he once had, but doesn't flub many. And that's a 4-10. That's a ground ball right at the second baseman, Walker, for the 3rd out. So 3 up, 3 down here in the top of the 6th for Robles. And we go to the bottom of the 6th. The score is 2-0 Nats. Max Scherzer's pitching a 2-hitter. And it's going to be the pitcher leading off, so we're going to see a pinch hitter. Pinch hitter for the Mets. And it's going to be Juan Lagares. Juan Lagares. Gold Glove type center fielder is going to bat for in the pitcher spot. In the bottom of the 6th. Here's the pitch from Scherzer to Lagares. And it's a 4-4. It's a ground ball right at the shortstop. Espinoza's a 2. And that's going to be a ball that Espinoza gets to and throws out Lagares. 1 away. Next is going to be the top of the order for the Mets. Jose Reyes, a 6'10 off Scherzer. 6'10 is a catcher's card. Ramos is a 2. Catcher's card a 2. We roll in 8. And that's a pop-up. That Ramos drops. Oh no. And Reyes is on an E2. So the tying run is at the plate now in Granderson. Granderson has good power. Stroked 30 home runs in 2016. Here's the pitch from Scherzer. It is a 2-12. It's a fly ball, lifts to deep center field. Back goes Revere to the track. Nice running catch for out number 2 by Ben Revere. Has good range. Now it's Walker. He belted 23 home runs and 400 at bats. So he was in line having 600 at bats to maybe hit about 33 home runs, 34 home runs. He batted 282. So here is the pitch to Neil Walker. It's a 5-5, and that's a swing and a miss. Goes down on strikes for the third out. So we go to the top of the seventh, 2-0 Nats. And we're going to have Eric Goodell is going to come in and pitch for the Mets. Eric Goodell. Goodell was 2-2 with a 4.54 ERA. Eric Goodell throws right-hander, and he's going to face Ben Revere and Worth. Say 5-10. A 5-10 is a ground ball shortstop X, and that's going to be a ball that Asdrubal feels and throws out Revere, gets him by half a step. So he can motor down that line. Got good speed. Jason Worth. Say 2-5. A 2-5 is going to be a swing and a miss. Goes down on strikes for out number 2. And next is going to be Murph. Don't call me Danny. Daniel Murphy. Here's a pitch to Murphy. Say 3-4. A 3-4 is lifted to right field. Right fielder Granderson measures it, and that's all she wrote for 6.5 innings of play. It's 2-0 Nats. We go to the bottom of the seventh. 1-2-3 inning for Eric Goodell. And it's going to be Loney. James Loney now. Let's say 4-4. That's going to be off of Scherzer's card. A 4-4 is a ground ball shortstop X. And that's going to be a ball that's handled by Espinoza. Throws out Loney. 1 away. Next is Asdrubal Cabrera. Cabrera's over 2. He popped up and flied out. And it's a 5-12 against Scherzer. A 5-12 is going to be, wow, my cards went flying. It's a ground ball at the second baseman, Murphy. Murphy throws him out. And now it's Brandon Nimmo. Brandon Nimmo has one of the 2 hits allowed by Scherzer today. His second column is pretty good. Singles all the way down except for 7 and 8. And that's a 5-8 off Scherzer's card. 5-8 is going to be a swing and a miss. Goes down on strikes for the 8th strikeout for Scherzer, and that's the end of the inning. We go to the top of the 8th now. It's 2-0 Nats. Now Nimmo, as you can see, that's what I like about Strat. You never know what the cards are going to bring. You never know when you roll what it's going to turn out to be. I like that excitement, that added element, or that added layer of excitement. Every guy's card is unique, totally unique. That's the fascinating aspect of Strat. And most of I've looked at the chart, I think, about 6 or 7 times during the game. And that's it. So I really like that most of the results are right off the cards. This is my game of choice. At this point, after playing a lot of different games. In terms of the big 3, I guess, leaving out History Maker Baseball, who's a totally different experience altogether. Travis d'Arnaud. Okay, so leading off in the top of the 7th is going to be Bryce Harper. And it's Eric Goodell is still in there. So here's the pitch to Harper. It's going to be a 4-11. A 4-11 is going to be a walk off Goodell's card. So Harper manages a walk on 4 pitches. He's on at first. There's action in the Mets bullpen once again. It's Addison Reed out there. Here's the pitch to Ramos. It's a 2-9. A 2-9 is a hard hit ground ball right at the third baseman Reyes. He goes to second for one, back to first. 5-4-3, 2 outs. Clint Robinson, a 3-9er, and that's a fly ball lifted deep to right field. And running back is Granderson and makes the catch for the third out. So after the walk, Goodell gets out of the inning, and we go bottom of the eighth now. 2-0 Nats. It's going to be d'Arnaud leading it off here in the bottom of the eighth for the Mets at Citi Field in Flushing, Queens. Not very far from LaGuardia Airport. Here's the pitch to d'Arnaud. It's a 2-7. That's a fly ball left field. Worth is out there. 1 away. Alejandro De Aza. Here's the pitch from Scherzer. Say 3-11. 3-11 is a ground ball right at Murphy. Murphy throws him out. 2 away, and now it's a pitcher spot. We're going to get a pinch hitter. It's going to be Flores, Wilmer Flores. Wilmer Flores is going to pinch hit for Goodell, Eric Goodell. Got to track down what we did with Wilmer Flores' card. Oh, there he is. Okay. Wilmer Flores up against Max Scherzer. It's going to be a 5-9, and that's going to be a swing and a miss, strike 3. 9 strikeouts for Scherzer, and that ends the inning. So Flores for Goodell, bottom of the eighth. And now we're going to get Addison Reed. Now, Reed was one of the bright spots for the Mets. Reed was 4-2 with a 1.97 ERA and 78 innings pitched. So he pitched, he was outstanding on the mound. And he's going to face Rendon, Espinosa, and Scherzer here in the top of the 9th inning. Two nothing Nats. Two nothing Nats. It's going to be Anthony Rendon. Rendon is 0 for 3 today. Here's a pitch from Reed. It's going to be a 4-2. That's a fly ball lifted to right. Granderson is right there, 1 away. Espinosa next, and Espinosa is 0 for 2. He walked in the second inning. Say 3-7. 3-7 is a swing and a miss. Strike 3. 2 away. And it's Max Scherzer. The pitch from Reed. And Scherzer swings. And let's say fly ball center field. Coming in is the center fielder, De Aza, for out number 3. So the Nats go 3 up, 3 down here in the top of the 9th, and we head to the bottom of the 9th inning. It's 2-0 Nationals. Max Scherzer with a 2-hitter so far. He's struck out 9. It's going to be Reyes leading off. Okay, here goes a pitch from Scherzer to Reyes. A 3-6. A 3-6 is a swing and a miss. Reyes goes down on strikes for the 10th strikeout for Scherzer, who is dominating the Mets. And Granderson, it's a 5-9 off Scherzer's card, and that's a strike 3 called. 11th strikeout for Scherzer. 2 outs now. Mets' last opportunity in Neil Walker. say 4-6. A 4-6 is going to be a split die. And that's going to be lined to center field and caught by the center fielder Revere for out number 3. And that's the ball game. The Mets lose it by a score of 2-0. Amazing pitching performance by Max Scherzer, who goes a complete game, pitches a two-hit shutout. He struck out 11 and walked none. So the Mets lose it to Scherzer in Game 3 of our 4-game series against the Nats in Citi Field. And we'll go to Game 4 of this series in a little while. Just going to get the teams in order. And final score here, July 9th, 2016. It's the Nats 2 and the Mets 0. The Mets go to 49-38, their record. And this was game number 87. So that tallies about right, I believe. And that's all she wrote. So thanks for watching. It's Stratomatic Basic, replaying the 2016 season of the New York Mets. We'll be back in a little while. Take care.